Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Let's just wait for a couple of more minutes. Let's allow other learners to join in, and then we'll start with the session. Okay, Hitesh, please let me know once we can start. I guess we are still waiting for other participants to join in.
Yes, sir, we can start within 5 minutes.
Okay, all right. Okay, guys, I think we can start. Very good evening to all of you, and thanks for joining in. I welcome all of you to this session. I hope everyone can hear me properly. Can any one of you confirm?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, great. So, yeah, before we start, I would like this session to be a little interactive. I would like uh, you guys to participate as well. Whenever there is a question from my side, you can unmute yourself accordingly. And if you want to, pitch in something, if you want to add in something, if you want to share your thoughts on that, feel free to do it. Okay, so let's try to, as I said, like let's try to have a interactive session. It's gonna be for around 2 hours. I just don't want this to be a little sort of a boring session where, I'm only just speaking and you guys are listening. Let's try to be an interactive. Let's try to have an interactive session wherever you can pitch in. You want to share your thoughts. Yeah, feel free to unmute yourself and share anything that you want to. But yeah, please maintain the decorum. Unmute yourself accordingly, like one by one. We want to try and avoid the situation where multiple people are speaking at the same time, just to avoid any chaos in that sense. Okay, so I think we can start. Let me quickly share my screen. You guys can let me know once you can see my screen. And people who are not speaking, I'll request all of you to be on mute so that we can conduct this session smoothly. Okay, cool. Let me quickly share my screen. Uh, Again, like as I said, guys, if you're not speaking anything, please go on mute. It would be very difficult for me. It would be very difficult for me to, come back to the Zoom screen and unmute you one by one. So I'll just request all of you to please keep yourself muted unless and until you want to speak something. Okay, cool. Let's start. Let me quickly share my screen. Let me know once you can see my screen. Is it visible, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, yes,
Cool. Thanks, guys, for joining in. And yes, a very good evening to all of you. Let's start the session. We'll quickly start with an introduction of CoachX. You already know that CoachX is a leading online platform uh, that offers various, learning programs which are high in demand. Uh, There are multiple courses being offered, courses related to analytics BA course, data analytics DA course, and data science. And then I guess some other courses as well related to AWS cloud and all. Uh, may I know, are all of you interested in the analytics course, or is there anyone from the AWS cloud course as well? You can type in your comments through the chat box. I guess most of you are for the analytics course only, if I'm not wrong. Uh, you can type in through the chat box. Yeah, BA data analytics. Okay. Yeah, so mostly around analytics and data science, I guess. All of you are. Okay, great. So yeah, let's begin the session. I officially welcome all of you. The idea is to understand, what exactly these different type of analytics courses uh, have to offer you guys in terms of syllabus, and then what will be the job market opportunities that you guys would be eligible to, what are the different tools and techniques we'll be learning as part of these different courses. Before we begin, let me formally introduce myself. My name is Palash. I have around 8 years of experience in the industry. I'm a 2015 BTech graduate in electronics and communication. I basically started out my career in 2015 after right from the graduation. It was a campus placement. I was placed in Accenture. I was not into analytics to start with, but I sort of made my way through into analytics after 2 years since starting my uh, career. I basically started with Accenture into a profile which was more into data quality validation, where I was working for a retail-based client. Then, after 2 years, I managed to switch into the analytics space and then went on to work with different companies into pharmaceutical consulting. So, I have 4 years of experience dealing with pharma clients as well. And for the last 2, 3 years, I've been working for a product-based company which is into travel, tourism, and hospitality. So, yeah, that's a high-level intro. If you talk about, my training experience, I have around roughly 4 to 5 years of experience of training people into analytics and data science. If I talk about my skill sets, uh, I have worked across various tools and technologies. I've worked with Excel, SQL, Python, Tableau, Power BI. I have done machine learning projects as well. So you can say, yeah, a very varied experience in that sense. Most of the tools and technologies that fall under analytics or data science, I have thoroughly worked with them in my career. So yeah, that's a very high level intro. And yes, I officially welcome all of you to this introductory session. Very much excited to host all of you. Uh, we'll be talking, as I said, the agenda for this session is to give you guys an overview what all things you can expect as part of these analytics courses offered by CoachX to all of you. We'll be covering what all things will be there as part of this course in terms of tools and technologies, what type of training material you will be getting, how you will be evaluated, placement assistance, job opportunities in the market after completing these courses. Okay, so let's start with a very quick question. As you can see, the question here is, have you ever worked with data? You can unmute yourself one by one. The question is like, have you ever worked with data? And if yes, on which platform the data was? Like, was it in an Excel file or some database? If someone wants to share their experience, most of you are saying no. Some of you are saying no. So Sakshi said no. Monica is saying no. Is there anyone who has worked with data? Ria, if you can unmute yourself and uh, share your experience, like what type of data it was, where the data was stored, what type of work did you do on that data?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, actually, currently I'm working in a company where I have to like rectify the data.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a e-commerce platform. So over there, people used to purchase different insurance like bike and four-wheeler insurance, and I have to work in the back end. Like I have to rectify all those data so that if any people come to that platform and put their bike or four-wheeler number, so that they can get the like correct details. I'm working on that. Like it's totally on Excel sheet.
On Excel. So it's mostly you are just rectifying the data, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but you still have some sort of experience working with data. So as you said, the data is stored in an Excel file where you are responsible for fixing some errors in that data set.
Yeah, client shared those data and we like I have a team,
Hmm.
so you guys actually rectify like work on that data.
Right. So you or maybe your team would be at least having the basic knowledge of, how to handle the data in an Excel file, how to apply basic filters and all, right?
Yeah, like worked on that thing.
Okay. All right. Great. Anyone else who would like to share anything, who works with data? Someone also said yes. Haris, he's mentioned yes on Excel. If you would like to share, like what's the work that you are doing on that Excel sheet? Is it you are just reading that data or you are also doing some data quality fixes? How it is? Uh, or anyone else who would like to share, like, no, apart from Ria and Haris, anyone else who has worked with data before? Uh, Feel free to unmute yourself, guys. Like as I said, I want this to be an interactive session. I would like to know your experience. Like, if there is anyone who has ever worked with data before, and what type of, challenges you have faced working with data.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, myself, Jay Kumar Jadhav. I'm working as a production manager in one Korean MNC.
Okay.
Actually, I have worked with production data, which is
Okay.
very crucial, right from the right from receiving the material to dispatch. Uh, we have to manage with different types of data,
Hmm.
and also I joined this course to keep in a view to learn about
Hmm.
various techniques to handle that data. Actually, right now we are handling the data in the Excel itself,
Mm-hmm.
but also we have to present the data in front of our directors
Okay.
uh, online, uh, which who are online from Korea.
Okay. So as of now,
Uh,
you are this data that you are storing, this is to track the shipment data, right? Like,
yeah,
uh,
yeah, we got the customer schedule, and according to that, we have to plan all the activities. So all the activities of the production.
so
So
do you do any sort of reporting over it? Like, do you create any
yeah,
chart?
yeah, 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 yeah. Actually, whatever the production figures are there, we
Hmm.
have to fill it into Excel,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to find out the trend
Okay.
so that we can achieve the desired production at desired quantities and at desired time, in desired time.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order to manage all that, we have to study that data.
Hmm.
So, in order to go into deep analysis, I have joined this course actually.
Okay. Okay. Great. Thanks.
Also, I have to present that data, how the roadmap it is
Mm-hmm.
to go to or to achieve the target. That we have to be present in front of our directors.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So in that, in order to get that, I connected to CoachX.
Okay. So what was your good name? Sorry, I didn't get
Jay
that.
Kumar Jadhav.
Okay, Jay Kumar. All right, thanks, Jay, for sharing your experience. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's just that, yeah, you have already had some experience. You know how basic things work in Excel, but you want to learn some advanced stuff.
yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
have
yeah,
joined. Yeah, great. Okay, thanks. Thanks for sharing your experience. All right. So yeah, like it's okay. Like if you have not worked with data before, there are few folks who said no. Some of you have already worked with data. Most of you, the ones who said that you have worked on data, all of you have worked with data on an Excel sheet mostly, doing basic analysis. And the idea is to, join this course and learn about advanced analytics, how we can, play with the data in a more better way to have better insights and presentations, maybe create reports out of it, or automate the data collection process, data manipulation process, and do some advanced analytic stuff. But that's great, and it's okay even for people who have not worked on data before. We'll be covering everything from the scratch. The course is laid out in such a way that we cover everything right from the basics, and then we build on to that knowledge and go towards the advanced side of the things. Okay, great to know some of your experiences. So all these courses like BA course, business analytics or data analytics or data science, all these three courses are very data intensive courses, right? Like we work with data a lot during our day-to-day job roles. There is most of the time you would be working with data, you would be handling data, you would be analyzing data, you would be cleaning the data as well. A lot of times what happens is that the data that we get is of not good quality. We usually have to first clean the data, fix some errors into it, right? Like errors can be anything, incorrect values. Let's suppose, you are dealing with some sales data. So the currency, it might be having data or sales stored in different currencies like Australian dollars, US dollars, INR. You need to fix it. Dates might be of different format. There might be some missing values, some negative values for sales, right? All these things fall under data cleaning processes. So, usually as a data analyst or a business analyst or a data scientist, we spend a lot of time in our day-to-day jobs fixing the data quality issues as well. Before doing any analysis over it, first thing is to clean the data, to have clean and processed data with us. And that's why the role demands you to have good knowledge of data handling tools like SQL, Excel, Python, and all these things, which we'll cover later in the session as well. But that's how things work, right? And as I said, like it's a data intensive role. As an individual, you would be working with a lot of data on a day-to-day basis. So as the slide says as well, how this data is created. Every day, a lot of data points are getting created at a very high level. We can divide those sources of data, like how data is getting created, into four parts. First is humans, like we are doing a lot of activities day by day, right? We are having this session, right? I'm speaking, this session is getting recorded. This is also some sort of a data is getting collected. You as an individual do a lot of activities at a day-to-day level. You go to a website, scroll something. Let's suppose you log into Amazon, scroll something over there, navigate to different pages, uh, place an order, whatever items you would like to buy, you place an order. All these are data points only, right? Whatever activity you are doing on the internet, on the social media, are you placing some orders, you are making some transactions. At a day-to-day level, some data is created every day by the human beings. Then through machines as well, some data is getting created every day. We have a lot of satellite sensor data coming in. So machines are also responsible for generating some sort of a data. Then through human machine interaction as well, whenever you create your account somewhere, you fill a survey, that data is also getting created every day. And then some data points are getting created at an organization level, right? uh, you as a company might be doing a lot of transaction. You would be doing some sort of a marketing campaigns as well. You would be reaching out to people to buy products and all these things. This is also an example of data being created through an organization. So the overall idea for this slide is to make you aware that data volume is sort of getting increased day by day. There are different sources through which data is getting piled up every day, and we are storing it somewhere. So when so much data is there around us, we need some resources. We need some means, to manage that data, to handle that data, to store that data somewhere. And once you have that data stored somewhere, the only idea is not to store the data. The idea is then to make use of the data and generate some insights out of it so that you can take better decisions in the future. Right. Example being, like, let's suppose Amazon, right? Amazon, um, people might be placing a lot of orders on Amazon at a day level, on a daily day-to-day level, right? So once I have the Amazon data, then the next step would be like, why not utilize that data to generate some insights out of it? Insights can be like, what is the most favorite product of a particular customer community or a customer segment, which product or which is the country which is, facing decline in sales for a particular product segment, right? These are different insights that you can generate from the data, and then you can take better business decisions. You can develop your business strategies according to that. And that's the overall idea of, storing these different data points. It says the same thing, like, what is data and why data is important. If I ask you, right, like, what is data? Any sort of an information which is generally available can be classified as a data point for me, right? Any information, whether, it is telling you something or not, that's a different thing. But any sort of a information or a fact, or some sort of um you can say statistic, something like that, can be classified as a data point for me. Even in this session only, there are a lot of data points around us. What are that? Like where we are having this meeting, we are having this meeting on Zoom. This is also some data point. How many participants are there in this meeting? Roughly around uh, 20, 21 participants. This is also some sort of a data point. Who is the speaker? Palash is the speaker for this session. This is also one data point. I'm speaking something, my audio data, my voice data is getting captured somewhere. That's also a data point. I'm sharing my screen. You guys can see the video. That's also some sort of an image data or a video data that you can uh, uh, label it as. So any sort of information which is around you can be classified as a data point. Now, why data is important, right? As I said, the idea is not to store the data. We just don't want to store the data, right? Like if you're only storing the data somewhere and not utilizing it, it's of no use for us. Once we have the data, we can generate some, trends out of it. We can generate some insights out of it, which will help our business to solve some specific problems and generate proper strategies to solve those problems in the future, right? The example that I gave you, let's suppose, Amazon example that I gave you, right? Amazon is facing issues, or let's suppose Amazon has seen that sales is declining in India in the last, let's suppose in the last 2 quarters, right? So you might want to solve this problem. But before solving this problem, you would like to understand what is the root cause behind it. So to solve it, then you might, analyze the data. You would dive deep into the data to understand, okay, my sales for India region is getting declined. Let's see, is it declining for all the products or is it declining for a certain segment of the customers? Right? You, after doing that analysis, you found out that okay, sales is performing good for all the customer, for all the product categories except the mobiles and accessories category. Earlier, lot of revenue used to come from mobiles and accessories product category, but for the last 2 quarters, the revenue getting generated from mobiles and categories have gone down. Then you have already solved one part of the business problem, that the issue is happening due to decline in sales due to one product, right? Due to one product category. Then you might again deep dive more into the data to find out, like, is it the sales of Android phones that have gone down, or is it the sales of iPhones that have gone down? You might want to look at in a way that is the sales going down because there is not much demand, or the sales is going down because the uh, products are not of good quality onto the platform, right? So you might have to uh, dig deep layer by layer and get to know the exact root cause of the problem. Let's suppose you got to know that products are of good quality but pricing is an issue, right? Other competitive platforms like Flipkart or some other platforms are providing better pricing for the mobile phone categories in India. That's why customers are going to other competitive platform, right? So you got to know the root cause. Okay, pricing is a root cause. Otherwise, there is no issue in terms of quality. Then you might develop a business strategy to, target certain customer segments, to give them some discounts. You might run marketing campaigns to increase the sales of your mobile phones, right? If you don't know like how to use that data, how to analyze that data, uh, then you won't be able to find the root cause and develop strategies around it, right? Let's suppose Amazon was not storing this data anywhere. This data was not getting stored. The daily, day-to-day order level data was not getting stored anywhere. And then this business problem came into the picture, right? So if the data was not being stored or collected anywhere, you would have not solved this business problem, because there would have been no facts or information to look at across the sales trend of these mobile phone categories across Indian region, right? So that is why data is important. It helps us to solve business problems it gives us proper evidence that this is the pattern. By analyzing the data, we can dive deep into the problem and come to the root cause and develop our strategies accordingly for the future, right? A lot of these things, a lot of these problem solving things and strategizing your business vision, like what exactly business strategy you want to adopt in the future. All these decisions are generally data driven. We analyze the data, we see the trend, okay, what is happening good, what is happening bad for us, and we try to fix the bad part and continue on the good things. That's how generally data is being used to derive insights and take data driven business decisions to eventually, at the end of the day, the idea is to increase the revenue, right? So that's how we generally use the data in these industries to find patterns to solve business problems. Okay, as I said, then daily 328.7 million terabytes of data is getting created daily, right? Imagine the volume. More the data, more is the opportunity to solve business problems, more is the resources that you need to handle this data, more is the space that you need to store this data, more resources to handle this data, more resources to dive deep into the data and come up with insights to solve business problems. Anyone having any questions till now? I hope everything is going fine. Let me know if I'm going too fast or slow. Is it good?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes, sir,
Okay,
it is.
cool. So there are different job roles available in the data field, right? There are a lot of job roles mentioned here. I'll quickly touch base upon few of them. So the first is the very common one, the business analyst. Business analyst is generally a person who work with a lot of business people to understand their problems, to gather their requirements sometimes, and then propose solutions. Sometimes they also work with data, uh, not very deep as a data analyst might work. They might work with data at a very high level, generating, you can say generating very high level insights, designing very simple dashboards and all these things. So business analysts and data analysts are actually two profiles which go hand in hand. In a lot of companies, there are no two profiles as business analyst or data analyst. Both the profiles are same. More or less, the work is to work with data, generate insights out of it, and maybe you can generate insights by uh, just simply diving into the data and creating basic charts and deriving some trends and patterns out of it. Or sometimes you might be working on creating dashboards and all these things, right? So both these profiles are very much similar, more or less, BA and DA. But the traditional difference between BA and DA is DA is a person which actually works with huge volume of data, and business analyst is more inclined towards interacting with business folks and brainstorming problem solutions with them. That's the main difference. Then we have data scientist roles as well. People who are into data science, they are more towards building predictive models. They are more towards making predictions, utilizing the historical data, understanding the trends and patterns within the data, and making some prediction out of it. So that is the major role of a data scientist. Data engineers are people who are generally responsible for building data pipelines. What are data pipelines? Data pipeline is a framework to move the data from the raw data source to a data warehouse. So generally, in a company, data comes from different
Hello.
sources. Yeah.
I have a question. Well, what is the difference between data scientist, data analyst, or data? I mean, business analytics.
Yeah.
Business
So
analytics.
yeah. So the major difference between data analyst and a data scientist is the core responsibility of a data scientist is to work on building machine learning predictive algorithms to solve a problem which requires some sort of a prediction. Like I come to you and I ask you, can you predict or can you forecast the sales of Amazon in the next year? That is a typical problem for a data scientist to solve. But a data analyst generally do not work on making predictive algos. They just generally dive deep into the data and discover basic trends and patterns out of it. The Amazon sales example that I gave you, right? Let's suppose there's a problem
But
state.
also,
Mhm.
I think we also have to learn algorithm. I think
We
at the
also
end of
have,
the
sorry,
we
we also have to.
also have to learn algorithm, right? Machine learning, we also have to learn
Yeah, so that
in
is
our
under the
courses.
scope of a data scientist. Data analyst, as I said, data analyst doesn't work with machine learning generally. So machine learning is generally used to make predictions, right? That is the overall idea behind machine learning. Uh, to understand your data and apply a machine learning algorithm over it and make predictions out of it. So that is a major responsibility, as I said, for a data scientist. A data analyst is more towards generating basic trends, finding basic trends and insights from the data. So whatever things a analyst can do, a data scientist can also do, but it's not true the vice versa. Everything that a data scientist can do, it's not necessary that a data analyst will also be able to do it. So in a nutshell, uh, the skill set and roles and responsibilities of a data analyst is actually a subset of data scientist. Okay. So the only additional thing that a data scientist does from a data analyst is the machine learning prediction.
Okay, and what are the role of business analytics?
So as I said, business analyst and data analyst, these two profiles are same in a lot of organization. In a lot of organization, they have two different profiles, but more or less, both of them work with static data. Static data is only analyzing the historical data without making any prediction. The idea is to analyze the data and find some patterns, some insights from it. If you would like to understand the deeper distinction between BA and DA, DA is the person which is a hardcore uh, which is a hardcore person who works with data day in and day out. While a business analyst is more towards aligned towards the business stakeholders. These people interact with the business people as well to understand their problem, to gather requirements, and they also propose solutions to a particular business problem. They also work with data, but they might not work in a very hardcore sense as compared to a data analyst. But as I said, in most of the organization these days, there are no two different job profiles. The responsibilities of data analyst and a business analyst, there's a huge overlap between them. So most of the companies these days prefer to have a single person to do both the things. Okay. Is it clear? Who asked that question? Sorry, I missed your name.
Okay,
Yeah. Then someone asked, what is an ML ops engineer? So ML ops engineer is a specialized person who is responsible for maintaining the machine learning pipelines. So basically, how it happens is, let's suppose there's a data scientist. That data scientist build a machine learning solution. So once you have a machine learning solution with you, you deploy that solution in production. What is the meaning of that? Deploying a solution in production, you start using that so that that model works with real-time data every day. So this ML ops engineer is responsible to ensure that the ML model, which is being deployed in production, is getting enough resources, it is working fine. All the infrastructural need, all the server needs, all the bandwidth needs are being met for that ML model. And sometimes they also help in the deployment as well, the ML ops engineer. They make sure that all the ML data pipelines are working fine. Basically, the model is working fine in production. That is the major role of an ML ops engineer. ML ops stands for machine learning operations engineer. So it makes sure that the model, which is created by a particular data scientist, it is deployed correctly in production and it is working fine at a day-to-day level. That is a major role of a ML ops engineer. Then there is a profile called NLP engineer as well. NLP engineer is also a data scientist, but these people specifically work with textual data. So, take the example of analyzing data on Twitter. So, people usually comment on Twitter, right? Let's suppose they are commenting related to a film which is newly released on Netflix. You would like to understand the sentiments of those customers. So NLP engineer is a person who is responsible for handling textual data. They handle the comments, they handle textual data in PDF, they handle other textual data over internet. They analyze that data, they clean that data and generate sentiments out of it. So they mostly do sentiment analysis. What is sentiment analysis? Analysis is a process to analyze the textual data and generate the sentiments out of it. What is the crowd? What is a group of people? What are they trying to convey? Are they happy with the new film which is being released? Do they have okayish response? Are they liking it? Are they not liking it? Which character they like the most? Which character they did not like, right? The idea is to understand the sentiment of the customers, of the people, which they have expressed through their tweets, through their comments. Yeah, Vaibhav, you have raised your hand. Go on.
Yes, sir. So my question is that there is only business analyst role is only non-technical role, no? Or in that chart only?
Uh, Even for, although business analyst is somewhat seen as a non-technical role, but even to become a business analyst, we need certain skills, which somewhat are technical in nature. We'll cover that. What are skills, different skill set we need to become a business analyst. So I'll not say business analyst is a purely non-technical role. You need basic understanding of data tools like Excel, SQL, which we'll be covering in the later slides. So it is actually not purely a non-technical role. None of these job titles are non-technical in nature, to be honest. S- uh, Somewhat BA role can be classified as a non-technical role, but it still requires knowledge of certain data tools.
Sir, but it's not required that type of coding and all that things, no?
Yeah, that you can say. But sometimes companies expect you to, even if you are working as a BA, sometimes they expect you to upskill within the job and gain more bit of a coding experience as well. But generally, it is not. Yeah, you are right. Some basic uh, n- knowledge of tools like SQL and Excel is required, not the coding languages. So even in this course as well, in the BA course, which is provided by CoachX, we are providing you guys with a complimentary session on Python. It's a complimentary session within the BA course. If you want to take it, you can take that. If you're not interested in the coding side of the things, you can skip it. So it's good to have basically in the BA section.
No, sir, we'll take.
Yeah, like it's upon up to you. We are not asking for a choice as of today. Whenever the course will start, it will be up to you. Like if you will be interested, you can take that. If you want to skip it, feel free to skip that as well. Okay. Yeah, Sakshi, I saw your comment. What skills needed for business analyst? We'll come to it in the upcoming slides. Let's move on. I hope everything is clear till now. We have covered few basic terminologies. Yes,
Sir,
no.
I have a doubt. Can I ask?
Yeah. So let's do one thing, guys. Let's quickly cover the skills. Let's quickly cover these slides, and then I'll keep 15-20 minutes at the end to answer all your questions. Most of your questions will be solved once we go through these slides. But if you still have any, we'll take it at the end. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. Cool. So now coming on to the fact, like what are the different skills required in the data field? So generally generally we basically require all these skill set in the data field. Like we should have good knowledge of Excel, SQL, maths, probability, stats, data mining, machine learning for data scientists, familiarity with Hadoop for big data developers, data visualization, business strategy, and Python or R. We'll talk about specific skill set as well. What are specific skills are required to become a BA or a DA or a data scientist? But this is the full, you can say, full tech stack for a person who is working in the data field. Okay. Again, as I said, different courses provided by CoachX. There's a course on data science, on data analyst. There's a course for BA. There's a course for AWS Cloud Practitioner, and there is a specific course on data visualization with Power BI and Tableau. Let's dive deep into all those things, into all those questions that you guys were having, right? What is the difference between a DS, a data scientist, versus a data analyst versus a business intelligence developer or a BA. So what do data analysts do? Uh, Again, I guess I can see. Okay, Lalit, business analyst and business analytics is one and the same thing. It's just the different terminology you are using. Just saw your question and thought of answering. So what do data analysts do? Right? As you can see, the different pointers over here. Data analysts basically gather data, clean the data. They are responsible for analyzing the data, visualizing it, and presenting those insights to the business to take better informed decisions. They also work with business leaders and stakeholders sometimes to do the presentation, identifying and sourcing data. They are responsible for, handling data coming from different sources. As I said, in an organization, a data can come from multiple sources. Data can come from a CSV file, data can come from some database, data can come from internet as well. You should be comfortable handling data coming from different data sources. You should be able to clean the data and prepare the data for analysis. And obviously, you should have good enough knowledge to how to analyze the data to generate, to identify patterns and trends from the data. That is a major role of a data analyst. Then business analyst people, what do they do? Business analysts help identify problems. They work closely with the business stakeholders. They do a lot of requirement gathering. They review processes and interview team members to identify areas for improvement. They also present the findings and recommendations to management and other key stakeholders, creating basic visuals and financial models to support business decisions. So generally, as I said, there's a good amount of overlap between business analyst versus data analyst. Data analyst people are hardcore data analysts. They work with huge volume of data, and they dive very deep into the data to generate patterns and insights. Whereas business analysts have both the roles, some non-technical responsibilities like interacting with the business, uh, gathering key requirements, proposing business solutions, and sometimes at a very high level create visuals to support better business decisions. Then data scientist, we already talked about it. They are basically responsible for generating, or you can say creating ML models. That's the major responsibility of a data scientist. They do a lot of uh, work in terms of developing statistical and predictive models. So any sort of a business problem which requires some sort of a prediction, building predictive models, a data scientist is generally responsible for that. Specific skill set to become a data scientist is good knowledge of SQL and Python to handle the data, and then good knowledge of machine learning algorithms. A data scientist should be comfortable to understand or learn new ML models. There is a lot of development which is going on day by day in the research area, where all these data scientists come up with different ML algorithms. So a data scientist should be comfortable enough to keep on learning new ML algorithms which are introduced in the market by the researchers, by the statisticians, and then they should have good knowledge of Python to implement or build an ML model to make predictions. So that is a major responsibility of a data scientist. Again, in companies, you know, there is a huge overlap, right? There might be a DA, a data analyst, who sometimes might work as a data scientist and vice versa as well. So nowadays there's a lot of dilution in the market. The expectations are, different in different organization. A person working as a DA, which is a data analyst in a company, can be expected to work on as a data scientist as well. Internally within the company, they might encourage you to learn few things, to learn few basic ML algos as well, and vice versa as well. If you are a data scientist in a company, it is not necessary that every day you will work on ML models. You might have to work as a data analyst as well. A lot of time, data scientists work on cleaning the data and analyzing the data, right? So, um, you know, the job roles or the expectations, there is a huge overlap between data analyst and data scientist in terms of expectations. But yeah, if you talk about the major responsibility of a DA is to analyze the data and generate insights by identifying trends and patterns, whereas the major responsibility of a data scientist is to build core ML models to make predictions out of the data. Now, we'll quickly spend some time to understand what are the things we'll be learning in the data science course versus data analyst course versus a business analyst course. Yeah, Ameya, it can help you definitely. You're right on that. So if I talk about roadmap of the data science course, right? So we are going to start with analytics introduction. We will make you understand what are the use cases of analytics, what exactly analytics mean. The very first module will be on Excel. We'll cover everything from scratch, how to analyze data in Excel. Then there will be assignments after that. Once, so after every module is over, there will be assignments and capstone projects on it mostly. So once Excel module is over, you will get projects and assignments on Excel. Then after Excel will be covering SQL. SQL stands for Standard Query Language, which is generally used to interact with data stored in a database. So Excel has a limitation of 10 lakh rows of data. Excel can only handle 10 lakh rows of data. In huge organization where there is a huge data volume, generally the data is stored in a database. SQL is a language which helps us to interact with the database. If you want to extract data stored in a database, you should have good knowledge of SQL. So we'll be covering SQL right from the scratch, different type of analysis that you can do within Excel, within SQL as well. Again, capstone projects and assignments on that. Then we'll move to the data visualization part. We'll cover Power BI. It's a data visualization tool. We'll learn that. Uh, and then there will be few classes on EDA. EDA stands for exploratory data analysis. How you can generate insights from a data, what different type of charts can be generated to generate can be generated to create different type of insights from the data. We'll be learning that. How to handle uh, descriptive variables versus how to handle numerical variables. So sales is a numerical variable, right? It has numbers, whereas uh, fields like country name, city name, they are they are called as descriptive variables. They are describing something. So how to use the descriptive data versus numerical data to generate insights, we'll be covering it in the EDA part. What type of different charts we can build to generate different type of insights from the data. Then again, there will be projects and assignments over it. Then we'll move to another data visualization tool, which is Tableau. We'll be covering Tableau right from the scratch, how Tableau works, how you can create fancy visualizations within Tableau. Then there will be a quick introduction on ChatGPT, the role of ChatGPT in analytics, how you can use basic ChatGPT to boost your career into analytics. We'll be covering that as well. Then followed by Azure fundamentals. Azure is again type of a database. We'll be covering that. Usually companies have a prerequisite that you should have at least basic knowledge of Azure. We'll be covering Azure as well. Once Azure is over, we'll introduce you to GitHub. GitHub is a central repository where we have our, we generally store our code, whatever work, whatever analysis we have done, we'll be storing it in GitHub and putting it in our resumes as well during the placement season. So a quick introduction to GitHub, how you can store your work in GitHub. It will be taught to you. Then you guys will be introduced to statistics. What statistics is, what are the basic building blocks of statistics, different custom concepts under statistics will be covering, which will help us to understand machine learning algorithms going forward. Then once statistics is over, we'll be introduced with Python. Python is a programming language which can be used for both the things, for data handling as well as creating ML models. So we'll be learning Python from the scratch. We'll be learning basic data structures in Python and then how to handle data with Python. Once Python is over, we'll move to the main part, which is ML algorithms. We'll be learning about different machine learning algorithms as part of the ML algorithms models. So there are different ML, classical ML models available. We won't talk about it in this session because you won't be able to understand it as of now. But this is going to be the main module, the ML algorithm module. Then basic EDA analysis. Again, what type of EDA we generally do before solving a problem through ML. Generally, whenever we solve a machine learning problem, we do a bit of an EDA as well before it to have a basic understanding of data. So we'll do that. We'll cover the EDA analysis as well. EDA analysis helps us to understand what type of ML model or what type of features we should put in our ML model. Then applied maths, again, this will be a little introduction related to applied maths. We'll be learning about derivatives and optimization. Again, it's a technical concept. We'll not be discussing this in this session, but the idea of having this maths module here is to make you prepared for the ML advanced algos, which we'll be learning here in the AI and ML advanced algorithms. So all these tutorials related to applied maths, all those concepts will be applied in the ML advanced and AI part of the things. Then we'll be moving to deep learning. Deep learning is basically an advanced version of ML. You can say one step ahead, where we generally work with image data as well, different type of data, image data as well. And then NLP. NLP, as I told you before as well, NLP is a specialized form of machine learning where we specifically work with textual data. We'll be learning concepts related to NLP, how to handle textual data, how to ingest textual data and how to generate insights from textual data, how to do sentiment analysis from textual data. Then time series modeling. Time series modeling is again related to forecasting. So uh, time series forecasting is again one branch of machine learning. You can say one branch of machine learning which helps us to forecast something. So there's a difference between prediction and forecast. Prediction is done on the basis of multiple parameters. Let's suppose I would like to predict that uh, rain will, whether it will rain tomorrow or not. That is called as prediction. But if I want to understand how much rain will happen next year, that is called as forecast. So forecasting is always done by using a single parameter, and prediction is done using multiple parameters. So there's a difference between forecasting and uh, prediction. So time series modeling is a part of forecasting. We'll cover forecasting as well. There are different algorithms, different machine learning algorithms called ARIMA, ARIMAX, which we'll be covering as part of time series modeling or forecasting. So that's how a typical roadmap of a data science course will look like. We'll start with basic tools and technologies, Excel, SQL, and database skills, Power BI, Tableau, bit of a maths in between, then stats, Python, coding flavor. Then we'll start with basic machine learning algorithms, advanced ML algorithm, and then we'll move to NLP and deep learning. Coming to the roadmap of a data analyst, the start will remain the same. We'll start with requirement analysis, how to interact with business stakeholders to generate to gather requirements. We'll start with Excel, then SQL, Power BI, EDA, Tableau, again ChatGPT, fundamentals of Azure, then again introduction of GitHub, starts Python and basic ML modeling. So even in the data analytics course, we are providing the introduction of basic ML models. Will not dive deep into the machine learning part into data analytics, but still basic intro of ML algorithms, basic classical ML algorithms is covered here. Why we are covering ML algorithm here is because, as I told you, the expectation in the market is now very much from a data analyst as well. We anticipate or expect from a data analyst to have at least basic understanding of machine learning. So all the things right from the start are same. The only difference is we will be just uh, understanding the simple basic machine learning algorithms to start with. Even in this ML algorithm, there will be 5 to 6 type of algorithms we'll be covering: regression, classification, decision trees, and random forest. These are examples of classical ML models which one should know even as a data analyst. Then uh, for BA, again, the initial path will be same: requirement analysis, Excel, SQL, Power BI, Tableau, ChatGPT, and Azure fundamentals. Then again, GitHub and stats. This thing will remain same. Now, no machine learning algorithm will be here. You guys will be introduced to basic project management skills, SDLC, Scrum. It will help you to uh, have good project management skills. Then Jira. Jira is again a tool which helps us to log activities, our day-to-day work, how to manage work, and some business process, you can say fundamentals. So the only difference here is ML part is not there. The only addition is project management tools like Jira, Scrum, and SDLC. Because we need to take care of a lot of business processes here as well. We need to talk, we need to interact with a lot of business folks. We need to gather requirements and store it somewhere. All these tools helps us in the project management point of view as well. Then so basically, okay, is this someone speaking? Okay, let me quickly cover the other slides as well. Then we'll take the questions. Then usually, there are two programming languages, Python or R. Anyone we can use to, generate ML models or create ML models. We'll be sticking to Python, will not be covering R. The main reason is, first, Python is more widely accepted these days in the industry. Most of the companies are looking for folks having knowledge in Python rather than R. Python again is a very wide, it is having a very wide community, and it supports most of the ML models. Some of the ML models are generally there which are not covered in R. So the idea is to learn Python because it is more in demand. It is having a bigger community. Most of the people in the industry work on Python only. That's the idea we're sticking to Python itself. Again, these are some repetitive slides. Day-to-day responsibility of a data analyst. As we said, a data analyst, as we already discussed, a data analyst is generally responsible for gathering data from multiple different data sources, cleaning that data, processing that data, changing the data, transforming the data as per our own needs, and then generating insights out of it by creating reports and identifying trends out of it. Again, same repetitive slide, responsibility of a data scientist. Expectation of a data scientist can be to work as a data analyst as well, but the main responsibility of a data scientist is to work on the machine learning side of the things. Whereas a business analyst is slightly different. A proper core business analyst, a traditional business analyst is slightly different. These people are responsible for collaborating with product owners, for with product managers, requiring business, gathering business requirements, understanding the business problems, proposing solutions, and then having final discussions with them, maintain business documents, creating technical documents, and all those stuff. Okay, we have a question from Ameya. Will you be teaching Python to BA course and DS course with the same depth? Yes, Python will be taught to BA and DS course. So for both, like Python for BA as well as DA and for DS, it will be taught in all the three courses with the same intensity. We will not be focusing that, okay, this is a BA student, so just make them understand basic Python. It's not the case like that. Everything will be taught to each and every person with the same intensity and same depth. Okay. Then we have couple of slides in terms of career opportunities and basic salaries. These are base pay ranges of data science salaries in India. Numbers can be different, a little different to start with, but more or less that is a high level range. For a data scientist, it is generally around 11 lakh per year. For a senior data scientist, it's around 26 lakh, and for lead data scientist, it's around 32 years. People with 0 to 3 year of experience are generally my data scientist. People with 4 to 5 or 6 years of experience are generally senior data scientist, and people with more than 6 or 7 years of experience fall into the lead data scientist category. Again, these numbers are obviously these are some ranges. They can vary from company to company. Product-based companies have offer higher packages as compared to service-based companies, and consulting companies offer a package more than service-based companies but lesser than product-based companies. So that's how the trend looks like. Similarly, for business analyst, you will see a slight dip in terms of compensation. For a business analyst, it's generally around 11 lakh per year. For an SBA, it is like 16 lakh per year on an average. And yeah, this is actually business analyst 4 will be somewhere around, it's written 16, it would be around 20 to 23 lakhs per year. So generally, data scientists earn more than business analyst people in the industry because obviously they have more specialized skills and they are responsible for solving. They have their work is more technical in nature in that sense you can think of. Then data analyst salaries are generally greater than BA salaries or somewhat equivalent to BA salaries and a little less than scientist salaries. For a data analyst, it's generally around like 7 lakhs per year. For a SDA, it's around 13 lakhs per year. And for a senior data analyst or a data analyst lead, it is generally around 20 to 22 lakhs per year. Again, but there are a lot of people generally who are into DA, data analytics, but even you can start your career as a data analyst and you can jump or switch into data science after that, right? You just need to learn machine learning. So it's not the case that, if there's an individual who starts as a data analyst, that person cannot switch into data science. That person can do, and mostly people do that as well, right? And even the job demands it, right? Like even if you're working as a data analyst in some company, the companies expect you uh, to learn more things, to explore things from ML side of the things as well, right? So somewhat you will be automatically given opportunity to learn those things, or maybe if you decide to move into the data science domain, you can do that. You can learn machine learning any day. As I said, Monica, like you were asking, what is the difference between DA and DS? Anything the data analyst can do, a data scientist can do, but the only additional responsibility or the skill set of a data scientist is that that person is equipped with machine learning. Major responsibility of a data scientist is to work on machine learning side of the things to build predictive models. Okay. Otherwise, there is an 80% overlap between both of them. The major difference is the machine learning part. Why there is demand of data analysts? We have already covered this. Lot of data being there around us. Data volume is increasing day by day. Companies have realized the importance of data. They have a lot of business problems to solve, and they rely on data analysts to solve those problems for them by making use of the data which is stored in their premises. Why there is a
Why there is a
why there's a need for data scientists as well? Again, a lot of problems which require the knowledge of lot of problems, business problems are there in the market which can be solved only through machine learning. So that's why companies demand data scientists to be a part of their organizations. They have complex problems to solve with, which cannot be solved just by identifying patterns and trend. Sometimes the problem is a little more complex, which requires the need of a machine learning solution, right? But again, uh, the the idea is same. You have a lot of data, you have a lot of things, you have a lot of strategies to build, you have a lot of pain points in your business, and it can be only solved using the data because data tells us the facts, right? You should have enough knowledge to utilize that data. You should have knowledge of proper tools and techniques and technologies to apply that knowledge onto the data and generate insights and solutions out of it. Right. Similarly, same thing holds for a business analyst as well. A lot of problems to solve. You need to interact with business. You need to gather requirements. You need to propose solutions. You need to maintain technical documents and all those things. Few companies which are we have listed here. It's obviously not all the companies, but these are all of these are most of these are service-based companies like Accenture, TCS, EY. They hire data analysts, and these are their average or popular median salaries that you can say. Genpact and Capgemini as well. So these are service-based companies. Then there are consulting companies, companies like ZS, Mu Sigma, Fractal, uh, Absolute Data, and all different other type of consulting companies. BCG, McKinsey, these are all consulting companies which hire for data analytics people as well. Then we have product-based companies, companies like Google, Microsoft, Netflix, Zomato, Swiggy, Ola, Uber, Airbnb, Expedia. All these companies are product-based companies. These companies also hire data analytics people. Service-based, so salaries are different in service-based company versus a consulting company versus a product-based company. Salaries are generally the highest in product-based companies, then consulting companies, and least in service-based companies. So that's how the trend looks like. If you want to earn handsomely, if you want to earn more, you can obviously try for product-based companies as they generally pay higher. But yes, it comes with other downsides of that, like maybe a lot of work. Some startups will be there. They will require certain very good expertise in coding as well sometimes. Some companies might demand you to have a very good business knowledge as well. So expectations from a different company, from one company to the other company might vary. So that's how it works in the industry. Like we have different set of companies, different domain areas, business domain areas. If you feel that you already have, knowledge of a particular business domain, let's suppose someone is from finance, that person can target a finance-based company, finance-based startup, or a finance-based product-based company. Uh, you might be having more chances to, uh, get into it. Difference between what, Monica? Can you be a little more specific? Uh, are you talking about the difference between service-based consulting and product-based companies? Okay, so we have three set of companies: service-based companies, consulting companies, and uh, product-based companies, right? Service-based companies. So in the first two set of companies, service-based and consulting, there is a you always work for a client. Let's talk about service-based companies first. Accenture is there, right? Accenture is there. So Accenture will be working for its client, but you won't be doing the consulting part there. Usually the solution from the problem will come from the client. Client will do all the business consulting. They will give you a framework. They will give you a what do you say, uh, a solution to work upon, and you will implement the solution. Whereas in a consulting company, you you also propose the solution generally and implement the solution both. I'm not saying that in a service-based company we do not propose a solution. We do that there as well. But in consulting companies, we have good, proper consultants who have done MBAs from top tier one, tier two institutes across the country, and they work very closely with the client to propose a solution, to framework a solution, and then there is a team who works on building the solution. So in a service-based company, we usually focus on the implementation part. In a consulting company, we propose the solution as well and implement the solution. And in the product-based company, you are working for the company where there is no client. You are working for your own product, right? Companies like Swiggy, Zomato, Ola, Uber, Airbnb, Expedia, Microsoft, Google, they have their own product, right? You are trying to solve your own problem by yourself, right? So internally, you will do all the consulting and all the uh, solutioning work. Whereas when there is a client who doesn't want to solve their own problem, they give the projects to other companies to solve, which might be service-based companies or consulting companies. But in a product-based company, there is no client. You work for your own product. You you strategize, you formulate the solution internally and work on it internally itself. Is it clear? The high level difference? Okay, great. So as I was saying, salaries are that's why generally higher in product-based companies than consulting companies and the least in service-based companies. Again, companies hiring for business analyst folks, Accenture hires for business analysts, TCS is there, Cognizant, Amazon, VMware, IBM. These are common companies that hire for business analytics people. There will be more as well. We have just listed the common ones. Again, for data scientists as well, IBM is there. It's a service-based company. Accenture, it's a service-based company. JP Morgan, it's a product-based company, product-based slash consulting. McKinsey, it's a consulting company. Wipro is there. It's a service-based company. Mu Sigma, Fractal, Manthan, these are consulting companies. Latent View, Tiger Analytics, Absolute Data, these are all consulting companies. Uh, Cartesian Consulting is a uh, consulting company. Bridge 2i is a consulting company as well. So in a consulting company, there are specialized consultants, management consultants, those are called. They have good knowledge of both the business side and the tech side of those things. Cool. Moving on, coming to the course, like why CoachX then? So CoachX have to provide each and everything which you will require to be successful in this journey of transitioning into the data world. It provides all the relevant skills and career advice that you need to be a data professional. You will be also getting a certificate once this course is over. Then there will be a proper community of learners. You will be interacting within, you know, within yourself and within other industry professionals as well. Then you guys will be provided with proper lecture recordings as well, which you can have access up to 2 years right from the completion of the course, and then there will be regular doubt clearing sessions as well. So basically everything, all the live lectures, all the recordings, all the placement advisory, all the doubt clearing sessions, and all the recordings. Amey saying, does consulting companies hire data scientists more than business analysts? Yes, generally, yeah, Ameya, you are right. Like, consulting companies generally hire more data scientists as compared to business analysts. That is true. Business analyst people are generally preferred by service-based companies. Sneha is saying, is it okay if you miss some live lectures? Yes, it is okay. You can always look at the recordings once if you miss the session, but we obviously advise you to not miss any, because there's always a difference between learning in a live session versus learning in a recording, because there you don't have the access to ask your doubts if something is not clear. So also you guys will be given access to LMS tool. LMS stands for Learning Management System, which will be your one-stop tool for everything. Uh, you will be given a your you will be given a proper account on the LMS tool, which you can refer to access the curriculum, to access all the assignments, training material, live recording lectures and all. And all the project submissions and assignment submissions will be done on this LMS tool itself. How to access the LMS? I'll skip this. You guys will be, once you join the course, once you are onboarded, you guys will be given proper credentials to set up an account on LMS, and you can then once the account is set up for you, you can change its password accordingly so that only you can access that account going forward. And once the course is over, you will still have access to the LMS portal for 2 years, so that even if you want to come back and revise things, you can do that. Session timings, we have two batches generally. One is the morning batch and one is the evening batch. We have classes on Saturday and Sunday for both the batches. Timings are, for the morning one, it is 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. and for the evening, the timings are 7:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Every day, every Saturday and Sunday, you will be having two classes, 2.5 hours each, according to these respective times for morning and the evening batch. Yeah, Ria, it's basically service-based companies hire more BAs, but it's not an hard and fast rule. Even if you go for a BA role, even the idea is, even our course is such flexible that, even if you learn a BA course, you can still apply for DA job roles, right? So you can even target product based and consulting companies as well. Is there any need of laptop? Laptop, I guess, will be required, Sneha, because this entire course is a hands-on course, right? You would be solving questions on SQL, Python, which requires some sort of a coding. So laptop is more of a mandate in that sense. Then, as I said, we'll be having doubt clearing sessions as well, which will be on every weekday. Timing will be 8 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. How to submit your assignments? Again, you'll be submitting your assignments in whatever format it is required to be on your LMS portal as well. There will be a Telegram group which will be set up for your batch as well, which will help you to interact with other people as well. You guys can learn from each other if you want to exchange some notes, interact. If you want to connect within yourself to brainstorm on some problem statements, you can do that as well with the help of that community Telegram group. Okay, then the GitHub thing as well. As I told you, GitHub is a central repository which we generally use to store our work. Most of you might be freshers as well. So when you will be applying for placements, you might have to showcase your work to the companies you are applying for, yeah, right? So all your projects, assignment work, capstone projects that you will be doing, once you are done with that, you can store your work, all your coding or analysis that you have done on GitHub. GitHub is a platform. It's basically a code repository where we generally store our work, and we can share our GitHub account profile to the interviewer or whatever company you are applying for, just to give them an idea, like, this is a high level work that you have done. You are already equipped with these tools like SQL, Python, you've already done projects, and this is a proof. Here is my GitHub profile. You can go to this profile and look at my work that I have done previously. So you will be given assistance how to set up account on GitHub and how to use GitHub as well. Why we use GitHub? That's what I said. We use GitHub to store our work and showcase our work. Uh, if someone asks you in the interview, because mostly if you are a fresher, no one is going to believe you that just by saying verbally that you have worked on these things. So you can showcase your work just by sharing your GitHub profile with them. GitHub profile is a central repository which is generally used to store our analysis, our coding work that we have done in the past. Okay, so every assistance in terms of GitHub account setting and using how to use GitHub, we will be covering all these things. So capstone projects, I'll skip this one. 4 to 5 projects will be given capstone projects. Capstone projects are more like proper dummy projects, just like industry level projects, which will help you to get an idea how things work in the industry. And everything will be given to you, data sets, problem statements, and you guys will be required to provide a solution for that. So those are caption projects. I'm not going into the details of these. As of now, you might not be having idea what is classification, what is regression, what is ARIMA and ARIMAX, NLP projects. It might overwhelm you, but there will be 4 to 5 capstone project in each course, whether it is DA, BA, or DS. Okay, then as part of placement activities, few things that we are going to cover is, again, first is LinkedIn making guidance, the role of LinkedIn, importance of LinkedIn, how to set up your profiles on LinkedIn, how to build your network on LinkedIn, how to connect with different people on LinkedIn. Resume making guidance will be rather assisting you in terms of building resumes, do's and don'ts. We'll be having soft skill classes as well, some tips and tricks related to interview preparation, and obviously followed by mock interviews and placement assistance will be there. And at the end, obviously, you guys will be provided with a CoachX certificate of achievement, which will certify that you have successfully completed the respective course or this certification from CoachX, which you would be free to make it public wherever you want to put it in your LinkedIn profile or even mention in your resumes. You can do that. Okay, scroll up and show the salary structure again. So just an FYI, you know, these are estimates basically, right? These are estimate of salaries. This 6.6 lakh salary per year for a data analyst. Some of these people might be working in a service-based company. Some of these people might be working in a product-based company. Some of these people might be working in a consulting company. So take the figures accordingly. The idea is to give an overall idea of how compensation varies across job roles in these different job profiles. Okay, but it will be shared to you. We can share these things as well. It is quite evident. You can search for these numbers as well. Based upon the research, different sites might have different numbers, but more or less the range will be similar. We have around 30 minutes remaining. If we have any questions, we can take it up. Anyone having any question, please feel free to raise your hands, or you can simply unmute yourself and ask those questions. Zubair is saying, can I get benefit of my previous experience? I have 7 experience. Yeah, definitely. Zubair, you can get, obviously, we will teach you how to, utilize your past experience as well. So definitely you can get benefit out of your previous 7 years of experience as a data analyst. What will be the course duration? Hitesh, can you take this for me? Course duration question.
Yeah. Thank you so much for cooperating till now. Yeah, guys. Any other questions you have in your mind? Guys, please go on. Which or questions are सबको? Any concerns? Any doubts?
Yeah, there's one question, I guess, in the chat box, like what will be the course duration?
Yeah, guys. It will be around 6 months. Okay, completely. So 4 to 5 months for the data analyst and 5 to 6 months will be for the business analytics. Yeah. Any other questions? Haris, I'm from mechanical background. Can I switch to IT field after 10 years? Yeah, yeah, Haris, you can able to switch it. There's no doubt. Like if even if you are from the mechanical background and switching to IT, if you have the required skills set in order to crack the interviews and all, definitely you can switch it.
And there are a lot of people switching into these domains coming from, non-tech profiles. You will see a lot of examples. I don't know if you're aware or not, but uh, there are a lot of examples in the industry where, people working from or people coming from non-tech backgrounds. You are from mechanical background. It means you might have done at least B.Tech or some BE, but there are people who are coming from commerce background, arts background, and transitioning into data analytics. So it is quite common even for people with 10 years of experience in some other domain and switching into data analytics. Can we get work from home BA jobs? Vaibhav is saying, yeah, definitely. Vaibhav, you can get, but I'll suggest like if you are starting your career, opt for offer an opportunity which provides work from office setup where because initial 1 or 2 years are very critical. You get to learn a lot. But still, if due to some XYZ reasons, you're looking for online jobs, you can get that as well. Okay, Monica is saying what session is better, online or offline? I personally think like it doesn't really matter if you're able to learn things in an online or an offline setup. Uh, that doesn't really matter. Like on whether it is online or offline, both will be uh both should be sufficient to get you a job in the analytics space. Our setup, CoachX setup is obviously online, but you won't feel a difference. There is everything. All of us are there to support you at each and every point. There are industry professionals teaching here. You'll be getting recorded live lectures as well. So even if due to some XYZ reasons you are not able to attend the classes, you will be provided with proper backup. Sakshi is saying I'm new to this field. I'm able to learn everything. Yeah, like don't worry. As I say, as I said, right? Like the course is designed in such a way that it caters to the fact that there are people who are freshers and there are people who are coming from non-tech background. Everything will be taught to you from the scratch, from the basics. There is no prerequisite as such for this course. So don't worry about the fact that whether you will be able to learn things or not. No age criteria, promote, no age criteria at all. Sneh is saying, sir, I am from commerce background, so is it good to go with DA course without any experience? Definitely. It would you can go with DA course without any experience. Doesn't really matter. As I said, everything will be taught from the scratch. We'll be covering everything right from the fundamentals. He is saying to start a career in BA, which will be best awaiting for promotion, or which will be best waiting for promotion or start from a startup from a new. Can you raise your hand, Ria? Sorry, I didn't get your question.
Actually, the thing is, I want to know that, like, you show the list of companies. For example, Deloitte, a person who is working in Deloitte.
Mhm.
There is another like role as well. If a person working in different role, like he can, like that person should, like switch the company or like join a startup company, or over there he can like wait for the promotion.
But so you are saying if there is an analyst, if there's a person who is already into analytics, whether that person should wait for a promotion or switch. Is it the question?
No, no. For example, a person working in Deloitte,
Mhm,
okay, and he is working in some another domain,
mhm.
and he want to become BA. Okay, so what that person should do? He should resign from that company and start from the startup, or he should he should go like wait for the like promotion over there.
So it's always good to switch careers within your company if it is possible, in my viewpoint. The reason being, you already know the dynamics of that company, and if you will be making transition within your company, your employees, your employer, and your immediate supervisors would be aware of your journey, and they might give you a benefit of doubt that, okay, let's give this person some time to grow in this new domain. So let's suppose you are not into analytics as of now, you are working in Deloitte, you see an internal job opportunity, you feel that you have all the skill set required to become a data analyst, and then you apply for that internal job opportunity and you get selected. So, your manager in that new work, in that new domain, would be aware of, you are coming from an internal switch, and that person will be aware of your journey, and you will be somewhat given some sort of a special treatment, consciously or subconsciously, that will somewhat benefit you. But it's not, I'm saying that you should wait for 1 year or 2 year for an internal opportunity. If the internal opportunity is there, you can go for it, but else you can switch. Most of the people switch only because it is very difficult to move internally within from one domain to the other domain. But if your company allows that, feel free to do it.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. I want to know what type of exposure we get regarding the Microsoft Excel and PowerPoint. So again, as far as Excel is concerned, uh, whose question is this? Jay Kumar Jadhav. We'll be covering anything. We'll be covering everything right from the scratch. How to handle data in Excel, how to apply basic filters, basic formulas, creating new columns in Excel, applying basic functions, sum ifs, average ifs, advanced analytics, uh, pivot tables, creating charts in Excel, creating dashboards in Excel. So everything will be there. Don't worry of that fact. Any other questions, guys, anyone might have?
Hello.
Yeah, Tanya, go on.
Yeah, hi. I had a doubt. Actually, I'll just give a brief about myself. I have recently completed my bachelor's in BBA, and currently I'm working as a technical recruiter. So I believe that most of my skills are with respect to non-technical skills that I have, but I want them to be transferable. So with respect to maybe communication or being solution oriented or having a thorough knowledge about business and how it works, which from your personal opinion would more be aligned towards what I want to grow in, business analytics or towards data?
It should be business analytics in that sense, because as a recruiter, you always have people management skills. You might be, you know, uh, dealing with people, interacting with people at a day-to-day level, or maybe as whatever frequency you're doing it, but somewhat in your own capacity in your current job, you might be doing it already. Uh, BA role is more suited in that sense because it is somewhat a combination of tech and non-tech. But as I said, uh, expectations are somewhat very diluted these days in the market. There are a lot of companies who don't have different profiles for BA and DA. There is only one profile and they call it as a DA, and that person does each and everything. In some companies, there is also no data scientist as well. They only have one profile called analytics professional, and that person is responsible to do all these three things. But still, I'll recommend you to go for the BA course because even the things we are teaching you in the BA course is having a huge overlap with the DA responsibilities as well. So I think you can opt for BA, and even during the course, you feel that you are more inclined working with data, handling the data. you can obviously go and opt or apply for DA opportunities in the market. So for the time being, I guess you should go for the business analytics course.
All right. Thank you so much.
No worries. Lalit is saying is most of the work is done on SQL database instead of Excel in this profile. Yeah, because the reason is either it is Python or Excel, Python or SQL. The reason being, Lalit, is data volume is pretty huge. Excel can only handle 10 lakh rows of data, and 10 lakh rows of data in a, you know, in a corporate setup, in a industry specific setup is nothing. We have rows in, we have number of rows of data in millions or billions rather. So Excel is mostly to do some quick and dirty analysis on on a very, you can say, low volume of data generally. So mostly it's SQL and Python only to answer your question. Cool. Any other questions, guys? If not, we can wrap it up. Over to you, Hitesh. Maybe any closing words from your side? I might drop off.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah, guys, any other concerns do you have regarding anything, regarding projects or regarding any particular approach, timings, live session timing?